ApORKalypse! Ladies and gentlemen, the Warbosses of Da ApORKalypse.
Let's record now, I'll edit it all. Won't take much editing.
Well, you're lanky kid anyway.
Yeah, well, compared to you. There we go, right. So, hey!
Hey!
Just the two of us today for this.
One bald one and one not so bald.
There you go. What is it? A bald knob and
just a knob.
Well, what's the just a knob?
Odd boy.
Odd boy. Yeah, one odd boy and one
Yeah.
bald knob. There you go. So yeah, bonus episode for you guys. So yeah, I'm here in your den of
The shit tip. Yeah.
It's like a treasure trove in here, mate. It's great. I've only ever seen it on camera.
Yeah.
Just like
I normally tidy up a little bit.
It's great.
Yeah.
There's the little treasures all around. Everywhere you look,
Stuff
there's awesome stuff. So it's it's awesome, really cool. But we're not here to talk about that, are we?
No.
We're here to talk about this.
First game of 10th.
Yeah, we've just had that, haven't we?
We have.
Just out there, haven't we?
Yeah.
Just played it.
In the other
So,
room.
and then just up there, you'll see a link right now. If you want to go and watch that game right now, you could do that, and then you could come back, or you could finish watching this,
and then go
and watch it.
Yeah.
But
You
so
gotta watch it.
we won't spoil the results, will we?
We'll try not to.
We will try really hard, and if we do, I can edit it out,
Yeah,
so you
that's
won't
it.
know the results.
Yeah.
But we just had. What we can reveal is it was a really fun game.
It was epic.
And
yeah,
you should go and watch it right now.
Definitely.
Either after this video or right now. Go and watch it. It's awesome. It was a great battle report. Great fun, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
All we can promise you is lots of orcs, lots of carnage.
Complete carnage.
And
yeah.
Just go and check it out. It was good. It was good. So what do you think, mate? For our first game of 10th.
Really good. Overall, a few bits we need to iron out because we were a bit rusty when we obviously first game. It's hard.
I think we probably got a few little rules wrong, and then we had to keep checking things. Didn't
it's
we?
always the same though. When you change an edition, you keep things in your head from previous.
You're trying to get old rules out.
Yeah, that's how it works. Well, that's how it worked before.
Yeah.
Does it still work like that? You don't know, do you? You have to check a few things and making sure you're not making assumptions on the new rules.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely.
I think we were both a bit guilty of that, and then
definitely.
I don't think we missed too much, did we?
I don't think so.
No.
I'm sure the comment section of that battle report
will be
will
littered with
point out everything.
every
But you know what? I welcome it because it's actually
No.
a really helpful tool to fix those things that you weren't sure of during the battle.
Save us some reading, wouldn't it?
Yes, true. That is true. Yeah, it's definitely true.
Yeah.
I mean,
but fun.
Really fun.
It's still the same game you love.
It is.
And
it is.
It's not changed that much.
What do you think? Like comparing it to 9th?
More streamlined.
Yeah.
A lot. Even though we didn't know the rules, like inside and out, there wasn't endless book flicking.
Yeah.
It's all on the cards, so it was really easy, wasn't it? So
these are amazing, aren't they?
Yeah. So
I love these.
What does this unit get? Right. Put it to the top. Use it, which I did.
Yeah.
Not at all. But
you had them all spread out, didn't you? And then you couldn't find them.
Which one?
Whereas I was sort of shuffling the one. Right. What are you shooting at? Right. Let's get that unit ready so I know all its stats. You know. Yeah.
Obviously, when you're filming the game, it distracts a little bit, doesn't it? When you're trying to film a game, it does take you out a little bit.
Yeah, it does. I think if you've never filmed a battle report, it really adds an extra layer.
It does,
because you have to keep remembering to film bits and talk bits over.
Luckily, this man here. It's like, are you going to do a summary? Oh yeah. Getting a bit over.
Yeah, you don't want to be like at the end. You go, oh shit, I missed turn 2 and 3 out completely. Like,
which you could have done quite easily.
Yeah, I think you did that on the Blood Bowl report, didn't you, with Dim? I'm sure on one bit of there. I'm sure I remember you saying, we skipped past a couple of turns and missed that. Yeah, I've done the same with Nick. I've been in a game with Nick before, and I think he's missed out a bit. And
you just get too excited, do you? You're getting at the game, and that's it.
Good
trying to
time,
remember it.
But I definitely. I mean, I've had one game.
Mm-hmm.
I can say I really like it.
Yeah.
I think it's I think it's a return to form.
Yeah.
I love the fact it feels modern.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like a modern game.
Streamlined.
It feels streamlined and that, but
Yeah.
also there's a lot of older edition stuff in there.
Good flavour.
Universal special rules.
Yeah.
I love the fact that that's back.
Yeah.
I love the fact that characters join units.
Mm-hmm.
I used to
that's
find
superb,
that
isn't
really weird when characters were sitting on their own. So I love the fact that you just
disappointing that before.
It was, and it was when one would charge and then the other one wouldn't make it.
You leave the boss standing there going,
yeah. And now they're just, you plug them into a unit. They grant
Fantastic.
benefits on that unit. There's no auras. Well, there is a couple of auras.
couple of small auras,
but
yeah,
not
but
much.
nothing
It's
major,
mostly just put this boss in it. He does
gives
this
that
to the
benefit,
unit.
yeah.
Things like units before, like a knob on Smasher Squig. He joins the Squig Hog Boys now, and that feels right. It just
Doesn't get left behind. Does
no,
it? Yeah.
it's just not out on his own.
Yeah.
It feels correct. Yeah, I really like that. I like the battle shock.
That actually works really well, doesn't it?
I think
yeah.
it's
not as brutal as everyone sort of makes out on the internet. You know, on the internet's like.
But also I'd say it's not as irrelevant as people make it.
No.
Because I think a lot of people are going, oh well, it doesn't really matter too much because they still shoot. So actually,
they can't
control objectives, which is
huge.
massive.
Yeah.
And there's some units have special rules, like the Death Dreads forcing a battle shock test could mean that
push you off an objective.
And then not being able to use stratagems on them units as well can obviously hurt them a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the really preventing those units being able to score objectives is. What was I saying? So I think the battle shock system is really good. I think you don't want to suffer it.
No,
it's not
it feels
crippling
a bit more
like it was before, but it's
yeah.
like you don't want the unit to suffer battle shock because it means that it's not going to be able to control objectives, which is crucial, and
huge,
not being
isn't
able to use stratagems as well. Stuff. But
if you placed everyone on an objective, it comes to your command, and then you fail your battle shock test,
they're suddenly useless on there.
They're
not scoring you no points.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's really important, isn't it?
I love the fact that the strategic reserves are back. That you can put any unit in reserve.
Yeah.
And I love the rules that you can bring them on turn 2 from any board edge except in your enemy's deployment zone.
Yeah.
And then from turn 3,
anywhere.
bring them on. And I love that because it's like, do I bring it on now or do I hold off for another turn and bring it on where it really going to make an impact?
Yeah, big crunch. Yeah.
And that's really cool. I love that. Yeah, absolutely love that.
A bit more strategy. So it doesn't just feel like line up, shoot, done. No, you've got to think about it a bit more. Do I get that unit off of the objective to neuter you or off of an objective, or do I keep them back a bit to keep? I don't know. It just felt a little bit more strategic than the previous.
It does. No, I agree. It feels. It's talking about strategy. The stratagems. I think they feel less of them,
but more,
and they feel like they give you a bit of an edge. They give you some nice little abilities. They give you some good bits that help get you out of a tight spot, or help give you a bit more damage, or give you some kind of extra little perk. But they're not game breaking. No, they're not like use this strategy every time to dominate your opponent. I quite like the fact that you start with none. It was a bit when I first heard it. It was Sid that told me.
But it's good though, isn't it? Because it builds up. So you're not.
I mean, you start
first turn.
You do start the game with one, don't you? Because every player turn you get one each. So you do really start the game with one CP.
But you don't start with 6 and go right. This. And too much.
And it spreads them out across the game. And I like there's some really good stratagems. Like I like the go to ground one, where if you're just trying to keep a unit alive, you can spend that 1 CP to give them cover and a 6+ invuln. And
that was a throwback to 5th edition.
Yeah,
that,
go to ground. I love that. It's strategic. It feels like we're going to
hunker down. We're going to weather the storm. And
it's not going to stop them. It's not going to make them unkillable.
No,
but it just gives you that little bit
a
spend
chance.
CV to give them a fighting chance to stay alive. And there's other good ones in there as well. Like I like. What about the way Overwatch works now? Very different, isn't it?
I like it.
I do as well. I like it. Yeah.
I didn't like the way before. It's like every single unit, every single time there was a charge, it was always Overwatch. It just felt like if you were up against a really shooty army,
Towel.
Well, as an Orc player, if you go back on my channel, if you look at that, I've got a game that I played in 8th edition, I think it was, against Ultramarines, and every time I went to charge, I got Overwatched and it wiped the unit.
You got annihilated.
Oh, and it was so depressing because it's just.
I had the same thing
horrible.
against Tau actually, back in 8th, I think it was, or it might have been 9th. But yeah, I had the same thing.
It just added an extra phase to the game that sometimes you weren't part of.
Yeah,
you
true.
Just,
true.
And it just didn't feel right or fair. Really, it just felt a bit.
Again, it's another stratagem that is not, because you can only use it once.
Yeah, once
so you
per
can do it,
turn, isn't
it?
Yeah.
So you can only do it once. So you can't do it multiple times. I like the fact that it's not just for units charging.
No, you can use it anything within 24 inches. Can't you? Yeah,
I really like that.
Yeah, that's really good.
That is,
makes it more of a strategic. You can use it to stop someone from charging you, or manoeuvring onto an objective. You can slow someone down, not necessarily just preventing them from charging you. Innit? It's
a nice little
really
bonus to give you some. I mean, it's still 6s to hit, unless they're like auto hitting weapons.
Yeah,
but I like the fact that it's it gives you a little bit of option to sort of spend a bit of CP to sort of have a little bit of play during their turn.
Good, yeah.
So you're not just sitting
there. It's a bit more interactive.
Yeah, so you can sort of pick a right moment, like, I want to cut in here and actually watch that. And you can overwatch units when they like deep strike in.
Deep strike,
or when they move,
reserves,
or when they charge, or when they do an advance. So it gives you quite a lot of
transport. Or, can't you? Yeah.
There's a lot of options at times where you can overwatch. And like, so you've got to choose wisely. Haven't you? You can only do it once. It's
only one
nice.
CP though, which is quite good as well.
Yeah.
It's not.
There's not many, is there, that cost 2?
No.
Not many at all, actually. No. Nearly all the stratagems cost 1 CP.
Only the one for the Orcs when it was the.
Another quick edit for you there. Right, it will not cut out this time. It's fine. It's fine. I'd say I was saying before it cut out. Beginning of 8th was good. Beginning of 9th was good. And beginning of 10th again is good. My worry is that
the constant updates and the FAQs and they'll start ruining it a bit if you're not careful.
I mean.
You want a little bit of updating. You want them to keep it fresh and relevant.
If they fix stuff that's misprints and stuff that they is not rules as intended, and they need to just clarify things.
That's
fine.
But whole army-wide rules and
changing like the core rules. Like the fact I don't want in like a year or two's time for this book to be useless. Yeah. Which is what happened in 8th and 9th.
Codexes.
Like the end of 9th.
Well, look. Orcs, they completely changed the war ability, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like, so what was printed in the Codex was completely irrelevant.
Yeah, and just the core rules itself, like how, like the big end of 9th is like a completely different edition to the beginning of 9th.
It was too much, which is fine if it was all digital downloads, but it's not.
Even then, I want to be able to get used to a rule set. I'd want to just do you know what? Even if it's flawed, I'd rather just stick with it. At least I know what it is.
You work around the flaws, don't you? That's it.
Yeah, I don't want to have to.
We said it already. Like we arranged this game 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Got a list together. Great. Boom, 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 and then 4 days ago they updated the points, which made my list unplayable because it was over the points limit we'd set. So I had to rejig my list, and then I ended up sitting up till 2:30 in the morning to paint a model to make sure it was ready for the game. But that's the effect that the short rules, the quick updates have on people, isn't it? You know,
definitely.
You might spend 6 months. I'm a quick painter, relatively quick. Some people don't have the time or the ability or the want to paint.
I'm not a quick painter.
Yeah, but people don't want to do that. You want to paint out a 1,500 point, 2,000 point army, and that's your army. Play it for an edition, and that's it. They don't want to be constantly doing it. And if you're changing everything so quick, then people have to try and keep up with it. It's not fair, is it?
The thing is, this was a first game for us. Yeah. So we had a lot to learn. We had to refresh. We had to reference a lot of stuff. Yeah. But we expect that because it's the first game of a new edition. Now in 9th edition, I was having a few months between each game generally. Yeah. Every game I had
was different.
I had to fucking learn new rules.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't mind learning it when it's a new edition. It's like big changes, that right.
It's exciting as well.
It is exciting.
It's fun. Yeah.
But I really hope they've built up a lot of goodwill at the moment.
Yeah.
The rules are free.
Mm-hmm.
The indexes are free.
Yeah.
I mean, you can buy them if you want. I did buy them, and it's nice to have them on these cards, and lovely.
And I didn't. I just printed them off.
Printed them, and they work just as good.
Yeah, they were fine. You know, a bit of time with some Pritt stick and some scissors, but you know.
But yeah, nice. It's good.
Works fine.
And so they've done that, and I think they've listened to the community.
In some respects, I think they have. Yeah.
I think bringing back universal special rules, streamlining, stripping back stratagems, simplifying the way
the characters in units.
Yeah, they've done a lot of. They've made. They've done a lot of good, positive fixes and changes.
No.
Yeah, there's less armor penetration.
Yeah.
There's less sort of overpowered.
Always seemed like you had a save when we were playing it.
Yeah.
Majority of the time there was something, wasn't there?
Yeah, you quite often had a 6-up save
or
some
feel no
sort of
pain. There was something, wasn't there?
But most of them didn't seem like too overpowered.
Mm-hmm.
Like it struck a nice balance because
Yeah.
it's difficult because you want stuff to be able to survive.
Yeah.
You also want to have the ability to kill stuff, but it
yeah.
felt the balance was just right for most of the stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It just, I mean, I guess we've thrown a lot of what we like about Temp.
Yeah.
Is there anything you don't like about it? I mean, I can think of a couple of obvious things. The units, the way
it's
you
restrictive,
can't buy, so you can have
model.
boys in a mob of 10 or a mob of 20. You can't have 12.
Well, you can, but you've got to pay for 20.
Yeah,
which is just ridiculous. Yeah.
I that to me is just power level disguised as
Yes.
points.
Yeah,
that's all it is, isn't it? It's power level disguised as points.
The problem it creates is, which isn't really a major problem, but then you can't, if you set a points level to play to, you can't hit that sweet spot of, because
it's very difficult.
You
to.
can't
You
have
were
an 8-point model.
You were short in the points, weren't you?
10
'Cause you were at 10 points.
Yeah.
There was nothing you could get for 10 points.
No, nothing
unless
in
you
the
took
codex.
something out and drastically changed your list.
Yeah. So it makes it so you can't get the exact list you want.
Yeah.
Because you can't put a boy in or
No.
change a weapon out to reduce it by 10 points.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
I think
a little less granular.
I think that's a bit overly simplistic and unnecessary.
Yeah.
I don't see why that. I mean, and hopefully, this. I mean, I hope. Don't hold it, but hopefully it's just a holdout through these indexes in this early bit, and hopefully we will be able to just have a unit of 10 boys and have a few points and be able to add 2 or 3 boys to that mob. That'd be good. Is that the garage door opening on its own? We're having a storm.
I think
outside.
someone was trying to attract our attention for dinner.
We might have some food in a minute. But God, what I was saying there.
Just less granular, wasn't it? The stuff, like, you can't tweak it just right how you want it. It just feels like you've got less power over your own list. It feels like they're constructing a list for you a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just more.
You haven't got.
I mean, some units have been hit harder than others, haven't they? Tank Busters got.
Kits. Oh.
Tank Busters got bent over the table and shafted royally, and Commandos as well.
Commandos.
They're very they're very restrictive. Like things like units like Tank Busters probably being the #1 example of this. Like you have to have what's in the box, which is just 5 Tank Busters. You've got to have rocket pistols. You've got to have a tank hammer.
Yeah,
and that
so it means you've only actually effectively got 3 rockets.
Yeah,
and you can't have a squad of 10.
No,
that's it. You got. They're expensive as well. They're like
they are. They're
and
not. I don't think you'll be seeing them.
And
on the table
I was particularly
very much.
As Stevo, he loves his Tank Busters, and I was particularly butthurt because just at the end of 9th, I'd painted up 30 Tank Busters.
Just finished them,
so it was a bit annoying. So it made me maybe affected me a bit more than some. But
I mean, it's quite refreshing in a way because I kind of use them all the time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
freshen up your list a bit.
It is nice to have other units using. I think. But yeah, I would really like that granularity back. Be able to add that.
Hopefully, it will come with a codex.
I do hope so. I really hope so. I'd just rather it be like boys 10 to 20 or 10 to 30.
30 would be better.
But 10 to, and then you can just, and it's like this points You know, it's this much for the unit, and then add this much for them
for each individual boy.
I don't think people are as stupid as Games Workshop thinks they are.
Yeah, that was never the issue. I don't think. Was
Adding
up the points. I think
no, because most people use an app, whether it be Battlescribe or whether it be
the Games Workshop app.
Can we talk about that as well? I mean, you haven't got it.
I haven't got it. No.
I've got it. It's currently free. Well done, GW. For now.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be free.
So when you get a codex,
I
is
think
it going to be free?
As the codexes come out,
yeah,
I think they will then replace the index and will not be free. And you will have to be a paid subscriber to it. But I have to say, as a market, I really like it. And I'm saying this now, might be controversial. The last one was fucking dog shit.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was laughable.
I used it twice, I think. And
it was pathetic.
Yeah.
This one is brilliant. It's got all, from what I can tell, it's got all the perks and all the things of Battlescribe. Battlescribe was great for
great
information.
Very utilitarian though.
Yeah, but like ugly and
not very user friendly.
No. Whereas this is beautiful to look at. You get the pictures of the stuff. You can click on to the unit and see all its different rules and abilities. And then if a weapon's got a rule like Devastating Wounds, you can click on the Devastating Wounds word and it will come up and show you what the rule is for that. Sustained hits, etc. And it's really nice, and it's just very user friendly. It's really simple to use.
I didn't do it at all in 9th, but in 8th, 7th, 8th, I had a couple of digital codexes. And they were very similar, the digital codex. So you click on the rule, it'd pop up with the rule, and you could go deeper into it. Nice. And it was really, really good, really good and interactive. But the only problem I had with that was that whenever you went to the gaming club, your iPad had run out of battery, and then you're like, Christ, nowhere to plug it in.
And it's not, I don't like. I mean, I love these cards. I just think the app is really useful for like.
That is the way forward.
Oh yeah, I mean,
honestly,
but yeah, the app. Try it now. It's free now. Whether you want to pay for it when that happens, you might not want to. But do you know what? If the price is reasonable, I'd probably leave Battlescribe and stick with this. If it's reasonable.
I'll have a look. I haven't looked yet, so
try it out. And I reckon, I at the moment, while it's free, I mean, I definitely recommend it while it's free.
You can see all the other armies as well, can't
you? You can look at everything else as well, so you can see everything else. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much it costs when it does start being paid for.
If you've got to pay for it, you still apparently, what I've heard on the rumours, you still have to buy the physical codex to unlock the digital version, because you get the code in the back. I think if you're paying for it, you should just get everything. I think.
Yeah, I think you shouldn't need a codex.
No.
I don't think
you shouldn't have to buy the physical codex.
I think if you're a paid subscriber,
you should just get the whole lot.
I think whether you just have like you have the option to be like a normal subscriber or a premium, so you could just have your army for like a really cheap amount, or you could go premium and have every army, all the rules on there on this app, and it gets updated all the time. I think it'll bring a huge amount of goodwill. I think people will rave about it, and I think people would happily pay for that. And I think
if you got everything, I think they would pay for
subscription
it,
model. I think they'll actually make a lot more money. It's
for them,
it's cost effective for them.
And the outlay to the physical printing of all it must be a lot less for them.
Yeah,
you pay a couple of app developers and someone to update it, and that's it, isn't it?
I mean, I think right now it's a great time to be in the hobby. In 40k, I think the fact that it's free, and they've always said they're a miniatures company first.
Yeah.
And this is time they're actually, for the first time in a very long time, proving that. And it means that people get all the rules to get playing. And I think, hopefully they're seeing this, and hopefully a lot more people are buying more miniatures, because they can save money to spend on more models. And they're not cheap now, are they? Let's face it, the models.
Have they ever been cheap?
No, no, and they're definitely not right now. But what are you thinking then about codexes? Like, these index cards are great, but what are GW going to do with? Are we going to have books, or are we going to get something like this?
I hope we get a book with some fluff and some extra rules in it.
Yeah.
Some detachments or clan rules.
Yeah.
So you can have your individual clans, but then I hope they carry on with the data cards, and maybe we'll get updated data cards. I hope they stick with the data cards.
I really do.
They're very good.
Because I mean, for that game we just played, I just selected
yeah.
the units that I had,
yeah.
and I put all the rest back in the pack, chucked them away,
yeah.
put them aside. So I just have my data cards. And
it's very similar to
I'm
when
not
you used to
flipping
play
through
with
the book.
stratagems before you take out the ones you want to use.
You select the
and
ones
leave
you
the
want
rest-
to use.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like this, but it's going to be interesting because I think going from this back to a book is going to feel like a massive backwards step.
Yeah, it will.
And then these are cheap or free. You know, if you want the physical things, you can have them pay, and they're quite usual. Have you seen that? This is like how thick this is, though, all the cards. Have you seen the Space Marine one? It's like it's fucking ludicrous. I couldn't believe when someone held it up. I'm like, shit. It's like that. It's just like
they do their codex first, so that'll set the tone.
It'll be Space Marines and Tyranids when
it's coming soon, isn't it? It's before.
Yeah, I think they said there's going to be a bit of a gap.
Yeah.
To let people just get used to this in
the
guys. The people that are paying out for the Index Tyranids and Index Space Marines, they might not want to pay for these because you haven't got long to wait. Yeah. Whereas we've probably got
just after Christmas, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, we've got a little way to go with these to get use out of these. But I mean, I don't know. It's sort of like you could carry on using indexes and carry on playing 10th edition like that and never need to touch this stuff. So I guess you could just stick with the free stuff all the time and never worry about codexes and updates.
Yeah.
But I guess on that front, we talk about Orks in 10th edition. What we like so far.
The best bits.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you disliked about the actual game though? Before we said a lot of positive stuff, haven't we? There's not a lot of negative stuff really, was there?
We Dim, didn't we? We should have had Dim on the webcam or something. He could have pointed some bits out. But, to be fair, even Dim's pretty positive about this edition.
About the rule set so far, from what I've seen.
He's liking a lot of what he sees. And Grots are really good right now as well.
Grots are fantastic.
But you know, things I don't like. It's really in the core game itself. No, there's some things I don't like with the Orks, which we'll get into in a minute.
Yeah, certain times when you activate things are a bit weird, but I don't know if that's just army specific.
Yeah, possibly is. I think the actual core rules themselves, like transports, I think are better now. Yeah, because you can get out after a vehicle's moved with some restrictions. Yeah, but it feels a bit better. I still don't think transports are as good as they should be. Because
you've got, I think the Space Marines get that special because with the Land Raider, don't they?
Oh, right, yeah.
Because they get the advance and then they've got assault vehicle, so they can get out. Trucks used to have that, didn't they?
Trucks,
they should have it.
Yeah, I feel, and perhaps we may get things like that
when the codex
when
comes.
we get the special rules and stuff. Because
maybe speed freaks will get it, so they're going up fast.
This is why I'm so eager to get on to talking about the Orks.
Yeah.
I'm eager. But is there anything else you don't like about 10th at all?
I don't think there is. I think the big negative. So if there was one, it would probably be the points. Yeah, just that we sort of touched
just
on
the
already.
Restrictiveness.
Yeah, just that you can't actually be getting right.
I'm a bit worried about Legends.
Not seen anything yet.
We've had Legends of the Forge World stuff and Heresy stuff.
Yeah.
But and then we've got like Warboss on bike and things like that.
That was a Forge World thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. But and we've got Grot tanks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not seeing like big guns.
No.
I still want to be able to use my big guns. So I'm really hoping there is a proper Legends index coming of like not Forge World, not Heresy. I'm talking old miniatures that don't produce any more stuff.
Mega Armored Warboss with Power Claw. Can't do him at the moment.
Yeah, it'd be good to. So I'm really hoping GW are intending to carry on with Legends, because I know people give Legends shit, but I don't care. The only thing that hurts it is that they don't get updated and balanced. Is that why you want to use Legends?
No,
you want to use Legends just because they're fun.
Yeah, exactly. Because you've got this special character.
I just like the fact that you can use them in your fun games.
And you've got their models.
And they've got points.
Time and that's it, isn't it? Yeah.
So I really hope they stick with the Legends things and we do get a proper Index Legends, a proper one.
With Orks, is there anything they've omitted that you really... There's nothing dropped from the current code, from like Knights.
Not from last edition, no.
Nothing they've dropped, is there?
No.
I don't think they've.
So are we due now to talk about Orks?
Yeah.
Because this is the Warboss channel after all. We've got to talk about Orks, haven't we?
Of course,
I don't know. Well, What do you think about Orks then in 10th edition? In the Index Orks in 10th edition?
Good. Obviously, I was playing against Orks.
Yeah.
So
it's
maybe
the best game, isn't it? Orks versus Orks is always the best game.
I think they've got a bit of fluff that they feel like Orks.
Yeah.
No, they play.
It does. They play like Orks.
Yeah.
They feel like
Yeah. Turn 1 shooting terrible.
Yeah.
But as an Orc should be. You
Yeah.
know, yeah. I don't know. Yeah. No, it felt really good. Survivable for the right units and the other units not. Yeah.
I think there's a couple of losers in the Index, Tank Busters being one of them.
Yeah.
But I think overall, everything feels just about right. I think I always felt that Warbosses were never quite as killy as they should be.
Yeah.
The Warboss now, during a war, gets like 4 extra attacks.
Yeah, no, 5 because you get 1 for the war.
Yeah, and you get that for the
Yeah.
Warboss is an absolute killing machine.
9 attacks. On the
brutal.
war turn. Yeah.
I love the fluffy rules. Like I love Killer Cans. The rule of you can soup up their firepower to ignore cover, but it comes at a risk.
Yeah.
You roll a 1, those evil little bastards in the cans decide to throw out some stuff at your own guys. I love that. Grot tanks have got a lovely rule where they fall back when someone's about to charge them because they're cowardly and they back away, so it makes them, which is great because. And these rules, and there's lots of other rules like that in the codex.
There's quite a few in there, nice little
Death
fluffy rules.
Dreads forcing a battle shock test because they're big, scary, bloody lumbering things. I love that, causing a bit of fear.
Ability for a Big Mek to patch up his bodyguard
and improve the firepower, tweak it and fix it.
Brilliant.
Grots being able to have an option to hold an objective, thieving gits or whatever it's called, getting the extra
getting the extra
CP.
generating CP, yeah, that was really good, wasn't it?
Which is what you've always kind of used Grots for, isn't it?
Yeah.
And now they've really made that a focus.
They've sort of honed in on them, haven't they? Yeah.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
And so in all these rules, they feel like they're kind of good rules, gaming rules. They're kind of powerful. They're good. Some are more powerful than others.
Yeah.
They've hit that perfect thing of being good on the table, but also being really
fluffy. Right law-wise, yeah.
And this is only at the Index stage as well. So I think that's only going to get better.
Yeah, I hope they really develop that.
So that for me is, for overall of it, I think that's the big win. I think vehicles feel, it's kind of going more into the 10th as a whole, but vehicles feel tougher.
Yeah.
Death Dread's got a big points increase, didn't they? Massive.
Yeah, huge. But
I'm no meta player. Do you know what? I don't mind paying 150 points for my Death Dreads because they move 8 inches now.
Yeah.
They're an extra toughness, a toughness 9.
2 up save.
A 2 up save with a built-in 6+ invuln.
Yeah.
They can cause battle shock. They've still got all the options. I was really worried that they were going to strip away all the options. We can still have 4 claws, 4 shooters, 4 whatever. We can mix and match to our heart's content.
All the
still
weapons,
one of the
the
most
ranged
customizable things in the thing.
Yeah.
Which actually, I'm sort of backtracking now, mate. But one big thing in 10th that we didn't talk about.
Cool.
All the war gear is just, you've already paid the cost for it.
Yeah. Which is good and bad because then that eliminates the points tweaking you can do. You can't drop a weapon that you don't really want.
It's a shame that you can't save some points by having a bare bones unit.
Yeah.
I just want a unit of boys with nothing in it, just basic, cheap as chips, or I want a unit of commandos and I'm not going to go for all the special weapons because I just want slugger choppers, nice and cheap, etc. or whatever. I
found that with the shock attack gun Big Mek. Great. Wanted to field him then with the points thing. We had, I had to swap him out, but he gives +1 to hit. Oh, great! Sticking him with looters. Oh, they get that. Oh, they get reroll 1. Sorry.
Yeah.
But looters get that as their own rule. So
it's a kind of
you put him in with it. It's like don't really need it.
Yeah.
Which is a bit.
I think they've done quite a good job of making the weapons, for the most part, not in all cases. I think in some cases there is a clear winner. You look at it like, well, you'd obviously choose
You're
that
going to take
option.
that, and yeah.
But I think when obviously for big shooters, rockets, things like that, you're kind of like, in most cases, you'd be like, well, why wouldn't I put the special weapon in? Why wouldn't I add that turret to the vehicle? Because it's
wouldn't I
free.
give them all of the big shooters?
Well, it's not really free. It's that you've already paid for it,
Yeah.
so you might as well have it on there.
Everything you get.
But I think in the options where, like for a Death Dread, for example, or a Killer Can's probably the better example, where you've got your different options of your 4 different guns to choose from. I think they've done a much better job this edition of making all of those viable choices. Even the Grotzuka, which hasn't seen much play for a long time, is in certain situations a better option than a big shooter. Not in many situations, but I think the can
range.
shooter. I love the fact that can shooter
was
is better than a
devastating wounds, wouldn't it? Yeah. We didn't got that straight away.
No, I didn't. I was like,
it's good.
oh, that's lovely. That is.
You do have to check. We've noticed that with the index cards, because you might have a big shooter or a big shooter, but one was shorter range, wasn't it?
Yeah, they
on
got
one of the
like, I think there's a slight change in like the names and stuff, so it'd be like a custom Mega Zapper instead of a Mega Blaster or a Mega Cannon there, so there's slightly different
tweak
stats.
the names in there, yeah.
But yeah, I really like things like that, and I think for the most part, you look at the different weapon options and you're like, well, that's better against that, but that's better against that. So they're kind of even. Yeah. It's sort of apples and oranges. But then in some cases you're like,
that's the clear winner.
I think like for example, Knob in a Mob of Boys, a combi shooter is generally nowhere near as good as a Power Claw or a Big Chopper, is it? A Big Chopper Power Claw, I think.
They've both got their.
I think Big Chopper's better against some things, and the Power Claw's better against others. I like the fact that it's not
there is a distinction between the two. Yeah.
Whereas combi shooters, I still haven't made my mind up on them yet.
It's a shame to lose either the burner or the scorcher.
Yeah, I hope they fix. I really hope they address that in the codex, and we get to choose between a flamer or a rocket again. Because I think they've tried to make a one rule fits all, and
it doesn't quite work, does it?
Yeah, that's a weak point, I think. And obviously at the moment we're very restricted because we're pretty much just running a goth list, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's the WAR detachment that we've got.
The sustained hits, isn't it?
Yeah, so you're getting exploding sixes in combat. Basically.
Yeah.
Just basically like the old goth list.
Yeah.
But what are you hoping to see? Because they've already kind of touched on that we're probably not going to get. I think they talked about the Space Marines and how they're not just going to have like Blood Angels, Ultramarines, whatever. They're going to have a different sort of detachment, which leaves you a lot more free. So, say you collect Ultramarines or whatever, you can choose the detachment that fits. And I think for us, rather than going, oh, I have a Bad Moon detachment or I have a Snakebite detachment, we're going to go right.
Is a shooty detachment.
Yeah.
Is a fast detachment.
What are you hoping for? What sort of? I think they've said we're going to get at least 6. Every codex going to have at least 6. What are you hoping to see for the detachments?
I would love to see like Evil Sons, but obviously maybe
Speed
not.
Freak.
Speed Freak.
Be a
but
Speed Freak detachment.
Then you can have more units of bikes. So you're not restricted to just 3 data card. Yeah, so you can take like you can with the core. Is it core?
I'm really hoping to see
so
that.
You get 6. You can take 6 bikes.
Yeah.
6 units of bikes.
And maybe like. You won't be able to choose. Maybe you'll be able to choose more of them, but you perhaps may not be able to have Death Dreads or something because they're slow.
They're slow,
or something like that. So, or less of those.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Dread Mob.
I really because that's a key weakness.
You can't take them
in
units
units
now,
anymore. So you can only have 3 Death Dreads max, which breaks my heart. Really breaks my heart because I had to leave one at home.
Yeah.
Because I can only have 3.
You can use it with your 12 Death
Dreads. Yeah. Well, I'm really hoping they do. Again, I'm hoping. For me, I mean, I've obviously always played as Bad Moons.
Yeah.
But a Bad Moon, do I necessarily just want to choose it? I would love to have the option of like some kind of shooty detachment.
Yeah.
And some kind of Dread Mob detachment. I'm really hoping we get a special detachment for Dread Mob where perhaps you can include more than 3 Death Dreads
that'd be good.
in a Dread Mob detachment.
So you could take 6 Dreads.
Yeah,
maybe they have to be individual.
Or maybe
units,
something that where they can, you can have extra Death Dreads, but there'll be a restriction somewhere else.
You can't take troops.
Something like that, or
something weird.
Something else that you'd be more restricted
or you can't have any buggies or bikes or
something like that. I think it would be really good.
Like the battle wagons as well, because it's just a generic data card now, isn't it? The battle wagon.
Yeah.
So it's not the gun wagon, the bone breaker, and the battle wagon. Like
I think they need to go back to that.
I think they do,
because at the moment it just has everything, and you basically choose between an hard case, or to make it tougher, or
if you want a bit more transport capacity,
and the shooting.
you get rid of the big gun.
It really needs. I think they need to go back to breaking some units down, especially where weapons. Like same with all the vehicles, really. If you've got like a tank that has sponsons, can you choose the more basic data card of it where it doesn't have that, or you can choose the other one where it's got.
It costs you a few more points. To do that.
I think that would be really cool. And maybe you might even be able to do, because then you'd be able to balance them a bit better with points.
Yeah.
Like Mega Knobs, for example. You could have 2 different unit entries for Mega Knobs, so the ones with the kill source or the shooty ones.
Yeah, different points values.
Yeah,
and,
sort of, you know, that would be. But yeah, detachments. Like I love the fact that you choose your detachment. That gives you your special rule.
Yeah.
And it gives you 6 unique stratagems.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that it's just so simple. And you choose what detachment best fits my army, my strategy, fluff wise, game wise, you know,
everything.
What sort of list do I like to play? And I think that's going to be really good to be able to go, I want that detachment. And whether if you play Goths, you might not necessarily just want to have the War detachment. You might go, well, I like Goths, but my Goths love riding around in vehicles. You know, because they like to get into combat quicker. So I want a speed freak list to represent my Goths, because they want to get into combat as quick as they can.
You're not restricted by the colour you painted your model.
Yeah,
you know, that
and it means you can have mixed clans without having to worry about multiple detachments. Because that was always a bit of a weakness, wasn't it? Because it was like, having, you know, a Bad Moon detachment and a freeboot, but they couldn't benefit each other. Because
I do like that with Orks at the moment, the way they've done it with the indexes. I love the fact that there are no restrictions. You don't have to have. There's no. You've got to have this. You've got to have that. Yeah. You don't have to have 6 troops.
You don't have to have any troops.
No.
It's brilliant.
Which is fantastic. I think it might be the death
It's just
of the
that
boy.
troops are.
Objective
you can have lots of them.
Yeah.
You can have more than 3 of them. Which is good, and they're really good at holding objectives because they just their stats. They've got nice objective control.
But
stats.
I like that feeling of not being restricted when I was creating my list. I want that. I want that. I want that. Oh, I can have it. Yeah. Oh, I haven't only got 3 heavy slots. No, I've got as many as I want.
Yeah, that's great.
You know?
So you can really theme your list.
Really theme.
And I'm sure, hopefully, once the tournaments really get going, and then as will happen, people will start abusing it. I really hope GW doesn't really react really quickly and just fuck it for everyone. Leave it free. Leave it free. Just add those rules in tournaments. And
exactly that. They don't
say,
need
right,
to
in
have
tournament
overarching
settings, this
rules
is it.
for,
Leave the actual core game as it is for the rest of us.
The core game's fine. Bring out a tournament pack. You're restricted. You have to have an HQ. You have to have this. Fine, but the rest of us can just play.
because you want to have a theme list. Because, like, you know, everyone knows I like Dread Mob. That's my thing. I love Dread Mobs. So it's fluffy. It's so. You know, I love the fact I'm not restricted, other than only being able to have 3 Death Dreads now. But
I think that's the sort of thing, though. But like you said, when they bring out the rules for detachments, if they bring a Dread Mob, you might be able to take units of 2. So you can have 6 Dreads or 3 or whatever.
Like
you're a bit less restricted then.
Yeah, that would be very, very cool. So I don't know. I'm thinking. I'm hoping they'll do a Dread Mob one. I'm hoping they'll do a Speed Freak one. I think they'll probably do.
One.
There'll probably be a Sneaky Gits, and then there'll probably be a Feral one, which will fit perfect for Snake Bites and Beast Snagger sort of list. A Feral sort of list or something.
We've already got a Gothy kind of list.
The War list is kind of fits the Goth one.
Bad Moon's got to be focused down on the shooting a bit more.
I think a shooting list would fit Bad Moons. It would fit Freebooters and Death Skulls. To be fair, it would fit a lot of lists, really, wouldn't it? Or like you might have like a Speed Freak. You might have a Evil Sons list, but you might not want. I mean, I always felt in 9th. I tested out Evil Sons. And to be honest with you, I found their benefits a bit surplus.
Yeah,
because they're already fast.
Yeah, it didn't really fit.
You add in speed to speedy units. Whereas,
Yeah.
do you know what I found it really useful for? Is the Gorkanaut and the troops. Because I was like, fuck me, my foot sloggers are really fast now. But on the bikes and the buggies, I'm like, well, they're already fast.
Really they're fast enough,
So you might want to have like your Evil Sons list and I want to choose a detachment that makes all the guns on them buggies better.
Yeah.
Or I want to make them more fighty so they get up there and when you're in combat, they're quicker.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to give us so much more freedom to tinker about and make creative lists, you know. I think I'm really looking forward to it. And I think I think you'll have some tough choices to make. Because you'll go, I love the army-wide rule that gives me, but I prefer the stratagems in that one, or I prefer the benefits. This, so I think you're gonna have to weigh up and go, oh, what do I want? Do I want all my units to have this, or do I want access to that stratagem because that is really useful for this thing I want to do?
Did you like that sort of theming on that? Did you like the fact that there's no psychic phase now? Because
I was sceptical.
Yeah.
At first, I was a bit concerned at that.
Yeah.
I do miss jabbing fingers because I love that.
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
I miss that.
But that might come back.
It might do.
Yeah.
It might well do. But having played it, it makes more sense. I like the fact now. It makes more sense to me that on the jump, he goes with them.
Yeah.
He teleports himself and the unit he's with. And I love that.
Yeah.
I really, really like that. I love the fact that he's got his psychic shooting attack.
Yeah.
And that's buffed up by the boys around
him.
But also makes it more risky. And I love the fact
that it's pissing down with
that
rain.
it is pissing down.
It's absolutely.
But we've got the shirt over, so I'm hoping it's not getting the models wet. I think we're all right.
We're good.
Yeah, I love the fact that the weird boy blows up. Potentially blows up when he dies. Deadly demise. That's brilliant.
Deadly demise makes sense.
I really, and I like that. And his sort of psychic shooting attack is fairly weak, but if he's surrounded by more boys, it can become quite powerful.
Yeah.
And I think they've done some really clever things with the rules that I would never have thought of doing. The way they made the Edbanger rule work in the same sort of way. They've given it the precision keyword, so it targets a character. And the more powerful his warrior, the more likely it is to make a head pop.
Yeah.
And I think, I really, really like that. And I think you've got like choice now, like the character you plug into your unit
really
changes how you're going to use it. Like for example, shooter boys, I think work really well with a weird boy because you get him to jump them where they're within range to and unleash the Daka and shoot. I really like that. And then perhaps slug or chopper boys, better off with a Warboss. To pile in and get all the extra attacks.
Can
and
you
stuff.
put a weird boy? Can he only go with boys? I've not looked into the weird.
If I remember, he can go with quite a few different units.
Right.
He can't go with Beast Snagger boys, I don't think.
Right, they've got the Word Boy, haven't they?
Which is
that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but it's a bit of a shame because I think a weird boy surrounded by Beast Snaggers just fits because they're all kind of feral and savage, and I think it fits the theme. Just aesthetically, I'd love to plug my weird boy into a unit of Beast Snaggers just because it would look cool. But yeah, the Word Boy is, I guess, and I guess you can just use a weird boy as a Word Boy. Who's gonna? Unless I don't think many people are going to mind that if you go, look, this is a Word Boy, or this is a weird boy. It's a different kind of magic user, isn't it?
But same,
I love.
Course,
so you got like, and then like units of 20 boys. You can have 2 characters in there, but one of them's got to be a boss.
Warboss, in it,
But then you could choose to add that. Do you want to add a weird boy to that? Do you want to add a pain boy boss to that?
Can you add any 2 characters then? Like obviously a Warboss has to be one.
He has to be one of them, and then I think the other characters, as long as they're allowed to go in boys, which is quite a lot of them.
That's quite good.
So you can have a pain boy, a weird boy,
a Warbanner knob,
a Big Mek. So you can. So there's quite a bit you can do. It's quite unit of 20 shooter boys with a weird boy and a Big Mek. That'd be quite tidy. Weird boy jumps them in where they're needed. Unleash your Daka with +1s to hit and whatever.
With the mech, yeah.
There's lovely little
There
combos
is
like
some
that
nice
you can
combos.
do, and so I really like that. Like a pain boy if you want to make them more survivable, or a big mech. A Warboss to make them more fighty, a weird boy to give them some interesting teleportating rules.
We were saying that the characters now you have to take them in a unit really to make them effective, don't you?
I
Which
think
is
in
good.
most cases.
I think it's better though.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's not better for me personally because it means I've got to paint up a lot more fucking infantry, which I hate doing, and I'm not looking forward to it. So I've got to paint up a lot more boys, and beast snagger boys, and knobs, and mega knobs. Because I can't.
Mega knobs.
I think using a Warboss on his own or a big mech in mega armor on their own,
They have the low
they're going to be
rule, don't they?
Yeah, I think they're going to be a lot less useful.
Yeah.
Because I think the benefit where they earn their points is not just in their own
Buffing
stats;
the-
it's buffing the unit, isn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
But I
There's
think
nice
other
little-
ones, I
nice
think like
little boosts,
Death
isn't
Killer Wartrike, I
Yeah.
think is a bit of an exception.
Yeah.
Because he can join a unit of bikers, which is really good for him.
Yeah.
I think that's fluffy. It
It
fits.
just
But I
makes
think
it-
on his
you
own,
can't target him. Then
yeah,
it's like-
but I think you can still use him on his own quite well because he just
Yeah.
then operates like any other buggy.
Yeah.
So I think that's quite cool. But yeah, I just love the way it works. I think they've
Yeah,
done.
it is working well, isn't it?
I think
What
they've
about
done a-
terrain? That all worked well, didn't it? I think the interactions. Did you found that a bit weird? A couple of them, wasn't it? With the
I think
line of sight blocking was a bit.
yeah.
It's no different than ninth, is it? I don't.
Not
think.
really.
No.
I think they've. I like the fact that modifiers now are pretty much, as far as we're aware, and we don't. I think
cover.
any kind of modifier is just restricted to
one.
a +1 or a -1.
Yeah.
So you can't modify anything beyond 1.
Yeah,
And I
+1
think
or
that's
-1.
good because
Yeah.
it could get a bit silly sometimes before, like especially for like orcs in the old editions shooting at things that were like -1 to hit,
Yeah.
and then you could have things stacked on top so they just couldn't hit
Couldn't
shit.
hit, yeah.
And stuff like that.
No, they've still got the rule, wouldn't they? That
6 is always
six is
hit, always
hit.
wound,
Yeah.
and 1's always fail,
Yeah.
and that. So that's
So that's
good.
quite good. Yeah.
And so I like the fact that cover saves aren't overpowered.
Mhm.
It just gives you a +1,
Yeah.
and then
Orcs having a 5+ as well makes a big difference, doesn't it?
definitely,
Does
and it
make
makes
a big
sense because on the models they're wearing armor.
They are, yeah.
They've got armor, and it
Yeah.
looks pretty
And
substantial.
they're beefy.
Yeah, it's
beefy.
not like a little thin
Yeah,
leather
exactly.
vest, is it?
If it's
It's-
a guardsman, you're like,
Yeah.
you should have
Yeah.
a 6+ armor save.
Well, I think they always had a 5+, didn't
I know.
they? And orcs were a 6+.
Yeah,
You know?
it should be
5+
their
feels
way.
right.
Yeah.
Feels right. I wonder if they'll bring back hard boys. Doubt it.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, it would be
That would
lovely.
be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like it being a 5+. It feels right.
Does feel right.
It feels right.
Yeah.
It definitely does. I think boys are just a bit tougher now. A
Yeah.
little bit tougher
Yeah.
to kill.
I think now.
Um,
Nice that they've kept the +1 on the choppers, AP.
do you know what? I didn't even know that because I never
didn't-
use them.
We didn't use them today.
No.
did we? But you know,
I always
it's
use
still
shooter
there.
boys
Yeah.
because you know,
Yeah.
even though I don't think at the moment, as it currently stands, I don't think shooter boys are very good. I don't think they compare to Slugger Chopper boys.
I think they will in squads of 20.
I think they
20.
will, and I think they also will when we get a shooty detachment
Yeah.
option
But
that
they're big-
makes them better.
You stick a couple of big
Because
shooters
Bad
in
Moon
there.
shooters
Yeah.
were good. In the last edition,
Yeah.
we got the extra range and stuff and AP.
That's
and
what you
things.
need, yeah, a bit more range.
You need
yeah.
you need some kind
+1
of
to the AP
thing
and-
that gives
yeah.
you. But then I think shooter boys will come into their
Mm.
own. But I think as it stands, I think Slugger Chopper boys are where it's at. I think at the moment.
I think Orks are still a melee army. What do you think?
Definitely at the moment in the
Yeah.
index, but we knew that would happen.
Yeah.
They've got
Yeah.
some really nice shooting though.
Yeah.
Custom Mega Blasters are good, aren't
Yeah,
they?
yeah. Brutal.
Fucking hell, they're
Yeah.
good. Rockets are
Yeah.
still really good.
I like the way that the hazardous works on the Mega Blood. That's quite good now, isn't
It
it?
makes so much.
It's- yeah.
I never like the way Gets
Always.
Hot works in
Yeah.
going always edition because I'm like, just because I missed, why should that mean the gun blows up?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
got nothing to do with
No.
about the gun getting hot. Whereas
No.
now, whether you hit, whether you miss, you do all your stuff,
Yeah, and then you
and
roll.
then you roll a one, see if the weapons got hot and
Yeah.
exploded.
Yeah.
It makes so much. Hitting's
Yeah.
got nothing to do with
No,
it.
no.
It's so much more fluffy. It makes sense.
Yeah,
It's
it
not
does
like,
make a lot
oh,
more
I
sense.
missed, so now this gun's got unstable. We would have got unstable if you'd hit them.
Yeah,
It doesn't-
not
so
if you missed.
It's
yeah,
much
yeah.
better like this.
Yeah, it does
So
work
yeah, I
out.
really, really like that.
Mhm.
I think a lot of weapons got a big buff actually. A big buff.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot. custom mega. They're
The cannons, custom Mek, the
lovely.
Mek guns.
Yeah,
Good.
they
Really
are.
good.
They are really nice.
Yeah.
And like I said it already, but can shooters.
Can shooters, yeah, really good.
Can shooters are so good.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
big shooters on your cannons, people do it. And like the Mek, he's like an auto include. The lonely little Mek
Oh
boy.
my god, he's awesome.
Auto
isn't he?
include
yeah.
in
Yeah,
every list, I
Yeah.
think. It
Yeah.
just
Especially
if you've got
if you've got
vehicles.
a vehicle,
If
yeah.
you haven't got vehicles, don't bother. But yeah, not only does he repair them, but +1 to hit.
It's fantastic.
And they've done away with all this. I've only
Roll
seen
for it or-
I've only seen 1 or 2 things where it says can't use it on grots. There's 1 or 2 stratagems I've seen where it says, oh, you can't do this on
Can't
grots.
Gretchen. Yeah.
Everything else, I
They've
like
got
that.
the Orks keyword, haven't they?
Yeah, everything.
they're
They
including
benefit from it all, and I
Yeah.
think that's so much better. 'cause
Yeah. They
now-
felt part of the army.
They
we
do.
both used them. It
Yeah,
felt- I don't know.
we did things. We used stratagems,
Yeah.
and we did things on grot units,
Yeah.
whether it be Met guns or cans or grots.
They benefit from the sustained
I'm
hits.
gonna
don't they?
I'm gonna pull that shutter. I'm only because I'm worried about my models. I don't think they are getting wet, but they're all right. Actually.
They're drowning.
Yeah, I kept seeing you looking over concerned as well.
Right, he's
But I think
coming
we're
down.
all
He's
right.
coming down.
We're all right. We're all right.
But it's, yeah, I think we got it right. But I think grots benefit from the sustained hits.
Yeah, they benefit
Yeah.
from the war. They
Yeah.
benefit from all the different rules. You can use stratagems on them unless that specific stratagem says you can't use it. And I think there's only
That was the only thing I found
I'll
a
have a
little
look,
bit janky about Orks, or a little bit weird for me, was when you call the war. It worked. We did it.
yeah.
But I don't know, it feels like maybe you're at a little bit of a disadvantage. You could be if you were playing against someone gamey. Wasn't really with Al, but if you're going second, go on,
There's one stratagem that you can't use on
hard
grots.
as nails.
You can't use it on vehicles or Gretchen, and it's hard as nails, which makes sense.
Yeah,
you
they're
can
not
see
hard as
why they
nails,
did
are
that.
they? Yeah.
But here we go. You can use on them.
Mm-hmm.
Orcs is never beaten. You can do on them. Unbridled carnage. You can do on them. So that's fantastic. And then there's only ones that say specifically like vehicles, like
Yeah.
Kareem. So yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
Yeah.
So at the moment, as it currently stands,
Grots benefit.
very
from-
little
Yeah,
restrictions
that's
on
good.
grots,
That
which
is good.
which is good. So grot lists are really back, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're
I
so
don't wanna-
good.
Don't want to give anything away.
Do you know,
but
I was
yeah.
gutted that grots weren't battle line, because
Right.
that's the only thing I think. That's the
'Cause you can
only
take
thing
3
that
units.
sucks with
Yeah.
grots at the moment is that you can only have 3 units
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
I think they've done that because they're so fucking good
I
now.
think there'd be 6 units of 20 grots. Could you imagine that? Jesus, that would be, that'd be insane. wouldn't it?
Especially now, what you're speaking of, like, well, we've got to talk about Zodgrod. And if you want to see how Zodgrod, this isn't giving anything away,
No.
but if you want to see how Zodgrod performed,
Yeah.
go and check the battle report out because he's in there. And I think we should probably talk about some of the other named characters as
Yeah.
well. But Zodgrod,
Oh, yeah, great. Yeah.
super grots.
If you're taking grots, you've got to take him, haven't you? At the moment, he's an auto
I think
include,
if you've
pretty
got a
much.
lot of grots,
Yeah.
if you've got a big mob of grots,
Yeah.
I think he's worth his points.
He's definitely worth his.
He issues at some
Not-
great
nine-
abilities.
9-inch scout move.
Scout
Don't forget.
move, which is
And then on
Brilliant.
the turn of a Y, he had 6 inches to their move. +1 to hit, +1 to wound, and -1 to hit. Jesus Christ.
they really are super grots, aren't
That is 4.
Yeah.
4 booths.
they? Yeah,
Like,
super grots
and
are,
they are
a
super.
thing.
It's
yeah.
only a single unit that he's attached
Yeah,
to.
I mean, and you can still kill them off the table,
Yeah,
but they
easy, yeah.
they actually
Do
pose
stuff.
a threat to
Yeah.
stuff.
Plus the farm in the CP as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
I think
actually
when
an
you
active
use
part of your army, aren't
grots, normally they're pretty much just a CP farming, objective grabber, CP farming, roadblock, chaff unit.
they? Yeah.
But they're good at doing that. They're really worth their points.
Yeah.
You've got the runt herd in there. He's a bit tasty in fight. He's got some
bit
abilities.
tougher, isn't he? Yeah.
But I think once you add Zodgrod to a unit, they then become more. They're not just an objective. They're actually
They're
can deal some
potent.
damage.
They're a potent
They
unit,
can,
aren't
they're
they?
highly mobile.
Or turn war turn, you get +1 attack. They all get 2 attacks each.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah,
And then you can use the stratagem on them to buff them even more.
Yeah.
You can use things like the unbridled
Unbridled
carnage,
carnage,
to
yeah.
get like critical hits and stuff. So you can really mix things
Sustained
together
hits,
to
yeah.
just buff the hell out of them.
because they're hitting on 4s, 5s and 6 exploding.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
It's
get
tasty. It's
+1
tasty.
to wound. Like,
I think the
Jesus.
grot units, like the Met guns, are good. I think
Yeah.
even the bubble chucker now is like a
Cans.
viable option.
Yeah,
it's lost. The bubble chucker's lost a little bit of its fun randomness.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Mhm.
But I think it's still got that sort of, you've got like the dense bubble.
You roll
yeah.
through, yeah.
It's still random, but I think it's fun. But I think it'll actually do stuff now. Custom mega cannons.
I know you roll for the type of bubble it shoots you've.
So you've still got a bit of like.
You got some control over it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you used to have to target a unit and then roll.
You'd roll. What you did before, you'd roll a dice for like how big it was,
yeah.
how many shots,
yeah.
how AP and everything,
yeah.
and one would go to each stat. Whereas
yeah.
now you've got like 3 different stat lines, haven't you? Like
but
wobbly bubble, dense bubble, big
bubble.
bubble.
You can do that before you nominate a target, so you can find out what bubble it's shooting, and then that can dictate what you're targeting.
Right. So
whereas before it was a bit
random.
You targeted that arm,
target a vehicle, and then you get the bubble that's designed to
exactly.
hit troops. Yeah. So that's cool.
A bit better.
I think
a bit more control.
I think just every grot unit is really good.
Yeah.
I think they're all really, really good.
You listen to this, Dim?
Yeah, Dim. Yeah. Honestly, mate, your grot lists.
Yeah. I think Matt Ward wrote this codex. Index.
I think he had some input.
Yeah, I think he must have done because it's so good.
I think he did it so that in the hope that Dim would let him out of his cage. If I make grots good again, will you let me out of a cage? He makes the grots good again. Or he gets the hose.
He rubs on the lotion.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having more games.
Yeah, yeah, me too now.
I am looking forward to having more games. I want to get. I've messaged a few of my friends saying, like, come on, we haven't played in ages.
Yeah.
10th edition's out now.
Do it.
Let's get a game on. I'm interested to play the other armies, see how they do.
Yeah.
Don't know how Orks will be compared to them. I don't know where we stand in the meta. I don't really care, to be honest. I just want to have some fun games.
Feels like they're going to do all right.
Based on what we played there, they feel strong.
Yeah.
You know, still, I've got a lot to learn.
Yeah.
I think I find how to use units good and what to do and things. And I think, yeah, definitely. But
it felt like, for me, playing, it felt more like an Orc list of old. I felt like I was playing a bit more like in 5th edition.
Yeah.
It felt.
Yeah. I agree.
It felt more like an old school for me.
It's
I went back to sort of some of it. I used looters.
Yeah.
I hadn't used them at all in Ninth.
No.
And everyone was saying, you know, because they've got weapon skill 6 now, haven't they? But they got the heavy, so if they don't move,
yeah,
they're hitting on 5s. You can give them some boosts
they seem to perform well.
I thought they were
right. I think they did.
Yeah, their guns are now strength 8.
Yeah, I mean, like 8th
before.
edition, they were like that. Everyone was raving about when everyone had a bit. But I think they're the right.
Yeah, I think they're good.
Yeah,
they're right in that midpoint. Good anti-infantry, but they can touch a lighter vehicle.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? They're a bit.
There's
nothing.
Middle
of the road, isn't there?
There's nothing I used in my list that I felt was shit.
No.
Or pointless.
No.
Like, you know, like in the game, there's obviously what happens every game.
Yeah.
Some units don't get to do anything because they just die quickly.
You put them in the wrong place, or
but
got a charge.
You play them again in the following game,
and
they do really well because the opponent doesn't target them, and then they do good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought everything. You know, there's things that seem a bit stronger than other things, but everything, it just feels right.
I couldn't get over personally from my list how survivable Meganauts are now with a mech. Jesus.
Yeah,
they've always been
really
pretty
hard to shift.
But obviously, against Orcs is quite hard.
Yeah.
But you had some big guns as well. No?
Yeah.
Mech guns. And,
I had some firepower.
But that being able to bring back, obviously, didn't happen in the game.
Yeah,
but being able to bring back
models, bringing them back, healing them.
I
mean, already a very tough
4-up
unit.
Invan with the custom force field. That's a 4+ invulnerable. That's not very
KFFs
common.
are really good now. Aren't they?
Really good.
Really, really good. I love
and it doesn't
the fact
just deplete, does it? After one
I love
turn,
the fact that you can overcharge it to the 4+ once per game, and if you've got the grot oiler, you can do it twice per game.
Yeah.
It's fantastic because like first couple of turns of the game, especially against really shooty armies like Tau and Space Marines, that's going to be invaluable to give you a bit of survivability early on until you close the gap. So yeah, they feel like a very heavy melee focused army. It's got a lot of like random, lot of volume of shots for the shooting, but low accuracy and stuff. They just feel like,
Orcs of old.
but you've got options there to make them more survivable. You got
Yeah.
options that it just feels like you can create the kind of orc list you want that will still feel really orky.
Yeah. The only thing they got to do is get the points back.
Yeah.
Give it so you can just
Give that
tweak
granularity in
it
it.
a little bit more.
Definitely.
I think it's all there. They just got to get the points back, and hopefully that will come with the codex. I don't know.
The enhancements are good, aren't they? I like the enhancements as well. I like that. We've only got 4 at the moment in the index. We're limited, but
see, that was
I
one
think
I didn't have enough points for.
Yeah, and they replace the warlord traits, don't they? But it's basically what they are, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting as well, because I think the different detachments you choose will possibly you'll get specific, like we used to have
the killer claw for goths.
Yeah, that's it, and the blunderbuss for bad moons and stuff.
Red paint for the Mek
so I think we'll get some things like that as well, which will be really, really interesting.
Nice themed stuff around different clans and stuff. That'd be really good, wouldn't it?
I'm buzzing for the codex. I'm round buzzing.
I'm looking forward to some Death Skulls. No, not Death Skulls. Blood Axes. I want to get some commandos on the table. Yeah, I do like.
I must admit, for me, it's kind of dictated to me this edition what I want to. Not in a bad way either.
No.
Not in a but it's kind of made me think. Like with characters, I need to paint up a lot more infantry now to make my characters
so you can
usable.
get them in. Yeah.
And I'm kind of. It's opened up possibilities that maybe I want to paint up some units that aren't yellow. Possibly. I probably won't.
Oh, bold statement.
You might want to.
Stevo,
it's like you don't
listen to this, Dread. He's going to be a freebooter now. Look,
never a freebooter. Never that. No.
An Evil Sun's freebooter.
Yeah. Oh, Dread will love it, won't he? He can just use whatever attachment's the strongest.
Yeah.
Whatever's the hottest. The hottest new hotness in the meta. That's what Dread will be.
Yeah. His digestives.
In his pie plate bases. Yeah.
He'd love my boss head bunker, wouldn't he?
Yeah, that's good, isn't it?
For the points,
good.
that is.
Yeah,
never used it before.
That's
why I brought it today, because I've never used it.
Even the Mek Workshop seems. I don't know if it's really, really good and like auto include, but it seems like less laughably shit than it was before.
Because it buffs a unit, doesn't it?
Yeah, that actually. I haven't. I've only sort of skimmed over it, but I'm just reading. I was like, that feels like it'll have a use now.
Yeah,
feels like it'll actually be.
Does
useful.
a similar effect to the Mech Boy, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I think.
Basically, it's just like a static Mech Boy kind of thing, really.
No, it's good.
I think that's. I think that might actually be useful now. Whereas I don't. Before it was just. It was pointless.
Mine's just over there. Just
lovely looking kit. Yeah, great with a bit of scenery. But I think they've made some things before that were. They've just got to fix. Commandos and tank busters, haven't they?
Tank busters mainly, because commandos, you can still take a unit of 10.
Can't take a unit of 5 anymore.
Yeah.
And that used to
and Storm Boys, you can only take 10 now, max.
Yeah. You can still take 5 Storm Boys, can't you?
Yeah, 5 or 10.
But you can't take 5 commandos because they sell them in a box of 10 now, don't they? So, but
and
it felt right because you'd want a stealthy little unit. You might just want 5 commandos just to be an annoying little unit to harass something or, pin something down. Or so I think they've got to work on a couple of them units. And
I think mainly because it's been that way for so long. You've now just invalidated a lot of people's armies. Yeah, but they've already spent time building and painting. That's the big bum about it. I'm not too worried because I've got so much shit painted I can just play whatever I want. But there's going to be some people who've got, they've got them units of.
I've got a lot of tank busters.
15 Storm Boys, or units of 10 tank busters. You can't take it. That's
and
really
I
frustrating.
Converted. I hadn't painted them yet, but I'd converted a little unit of 5 commandos, and now I've got to make 5 more now to make it viable options.
And do you have to take all the weapon upgrades, or
I can't remember. I think
optional?
actually, I don't think you can take all of them because
you can build them as just basic commandos, can't you?
Yeah, I think in the box you could have almost all of them have some kind of special weapon, couldn't you?
You get the flamer, you get the rocket launcher, you got the.
I think some people might. I think actually, if people have built them with a lot, I don't think they can. I think you can have 3 to 4 of the weapon or something like that. I can't remember exactly. So I think they may have invalidated some people's commanders, but yeah, it's, I don't know.
It's just don't.
Just tweak them a bit. Give us the bit.
That's all you got to do.
Just because it doesn't come in the box, I don't know.
It does seem a bit silly, especially with a tank buster fit.
As long as what's in the box is an option.
But that's the problem with the tank busters, isn't it? Because they only do that bloody fine cast kit now.
Yeah. So
yeah,
make that. What's in the box is a viable option, and that's maybe that's how they come standard. But make it the option that you can replace it or whatever.
Yeah.
Like make it the option that you can just have them all with rockets, or all with tank hammers, or all with rocket pistols. Make that an option.
What's your thoughts on the boys though, not being able to be mobs of 30 now? Do you think that's forever gone?
I think it is forever gone, personally. I think it's. I'm controversial. I know many people, including my fellow war bosses, and a lot of you viewers probably massively disagree with me. Stop throwing stuff at the screen now, people. I'm okay with it, actually. I am okay with it. I think 20 boys is a very formidable unit.
Yeah.
And I think the game now, I think you need a lot of terrain on the table to make the game play well. I think you do. You've got to have a lot of terrain.
It's hard to manoeuvre 30 boys around.
It's very hard to manoeuvre. The bases are so much bigger. You're not going to be able to get them all into a thing.
You never used to be able to get 30 boys in combat. It was always
and
overkill.
it was a struggle when they were on little 25mm bases.
And it was overkill. You never needed all.
You never got all of them in.
120
attacks. No, it was very rare where you'd get them all in. Very rare. So I think, as cool as it looks on the table, 20 mobs of 20 grots, mobs of 20 boys still looks very formidable, but is a lot more manageable on the table. And I think it's the same. It's not just our army. I think a lot of armies have similar sort of things with like a lot of chaff units and things. I think mobs of gaunts and the cultists and things, and then the plague zombies and shit or whatever they're called.
I think to balance it out, that's fine. I think Space Marines shouldn't be allowed in squads more than 5. You can only take 5 Space Marines.
I don't know. You know what? I don't know what it can go up to. I feel like 10 is a good max number actually for them.
I think that is the max.
I think
number.
It probably is.
I think it should be 8.
Yeah. Do you know what? I agree. I think Space Marines should be really fucking powerful.
Yeah. But small squads.
Yeah. And be costed appropriately. Yeah. I think because when you read the lore, like they are fucking.
Yeah, 3 of them kill a whole horde of orcs in there.
Yeah, they can, but then obviously they get mashed by the weight numbers. I don't know.
It's hard to balance it then.
It is hard to balance it. I mean, and then you've got things like custodians. I mean, how powerful do you make custodians? Because they're already like ridiculously powerful, but there's very few models in there. So yeah, I don't know. Like I say, we've had our first game, Orks versus Orks, so we haven't experienced other armies yet.
Just the first impressions.
I've glanced at Dark Angels only because my mate has got them, and I know that it'll be his thing. I glanced at them, some of their abilities. I'm like, fucking hell! Like, wow, that's You know, without knowing much about the game, I'm like, that sounds fucking good. Like shit, that's going to be hard to beat.
Black Templars, because I've got a few building up there. Black Templars.
And I'm sorry, I know it's an Orc channel, but in them new Space Marine Terminators, like I don't know,
they do look good.
I feel like a Terminator, an army of Terminators, would be
pretty epic.
I think that would be just.
I just like the game,
like a Deathwing, because my mate, that's what he plays. His true first love is Deathwing. So it's just Terminators and
Across
Dreadnoughts.
Yeah, nice.
And to be honest, those miniatures, I'm like.
They're cool.
An army of that. It's
cool
bloody lovely, yeah.
And then
really
when you
nice.
kill them all, it'll be even better.
Yeah, it will. It really will.
Get them mech guns
But I think I've been sort of seeing like things like Gene Stealer Cult play really interestingly now. Dark Elder, I'm never going to call them whatever they're, Drukhari, whatever they're called. They're Dark Elder.
Yeah.
They've got some cool rules, special rules where it's all about the inflicting pain, and they get as they kill stuff, and then they get more powerful as they're inflicting damage. I know everyone was moaning how overpowered it was, but like the Eldar have like the fake dice, so they roll them pre-game, and then they have them and they can swap them. And I know they were like a bit OP,
They've reined
I
them in a
like
little
it.
bit,
Yeah, I
think.
like the theme of that though, because it makes sense. You can tell
The
it's
farseers.
being able to
predict
just
the-
choose your dice roll
Yeah.
is game
I like that.
breaking.
Yeah.
But I think it shows their mystic sort of side. Just tone it down a bit, and I think you've got something there. I really like what they've done with that.
Nice
So
mechanics,
it sounds
something
like
different,
every other. I think Death Guard are having a bit of shitty end of the stick. Apparently they're really shit at the moment.
That's the
What
problem.
everyone's saying.
I don't. Do you know what? When this edition came out, I've got a 4,500, 5,000 point Death Guard army. I wanted to sell it.
You've got to show them on the channel. I know not everyone's going to be interested, but they look really nice.
Yeah,
they look
but I was going
lovely.
to sell them.
Don't they look?
I was going to
lovely
sell them,
models.
and now they've come out and they're the shittest army in 10th, and I'm like, oh.
When their codex comes though,
Yeah.
when
Yeah,
their
they're not putting
codex
them up for
drops,
sale.
they'll be
Yeah.
really good again. I think they'll.
I just wanted to put them up for sale. They're collecting dust. They sat there. I've not used them since 7th edition. I don't, or maybe a little bit in 8th. And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to sell them on and then just.
Or maybe
play.
swap them with an orc army.
Yeah.
Maybe someone that wants to swap.
I've got enough orcs.
Yeah, that's true.
60,000
That's true.
60,000 points. Or something. It's enough. I don't need more orcs. I don't need more orcs.
But yeah, I think I don't know. Big fan.
I think it's a
Big fan.
I think they've struck gold. I think it's
I
gonna
think
be,
so.
If they don't fuck about with it too much,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah, don't drop the ball, GW.
No.
Don't drop
Just
the ball.
keep it as it is.
And like, don't listen to the tournament lot too much.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah.
Just
If
don't.
you do, keep it to one side.
Just keep it for the tournament.
Just do it. Yeah. Do
you
a
can
rule
do
pack.
that.
Yeah.
You
exactly.
can do it. You don't need to
Not for
change
everyone.
everything for the game. Leave the game as it is and say, all right, we're for the tournaments. These are the
And that
rules.
comes down to us as players as well, though. We don't have to listen to the new hotness for the tournament.
No.
that They release.
So a
We
lot
can
of
just
my
not-
battle
yeah.
reports, because I just didn't want to get the next chapter approved. We're not paying current rules.
No.
We're paying last year's
That's it.
chapter approved or whatever. Or
Still
just
the same
or we're
game.
paying
Just
it's
slightly
just
tweaked. isn't it?
well,
Yeah.
in 9th it wasn't. The game literally
No,
changed.
yeah, that's true, yeah.
So just don't do that in 10th. You've got a really good core system there. I think you've got a really good core system which you can build upon
Yeah.
with the codexes, adding more fluff, more options, more choice.
But don't
Just
fuck up the core. That's
yeah,
you've got a
keep it as
good
it
base
is.
there. Yeah.
Keep it- I want in 3-4 years' time, I want this book to still be viable.
Yeah.
Just keep that
Well,
book
if
still
you
viable.
stick with that system of data cards, you just have to bring out a new set of data cards
Yeah,
for
Yeah.
15 quid.
yeah,
I'd be happy with that. Keep the core rules the same. Add some fluffy rules to each unit,
yeah.
because that's all you've
How
got
are
to
they
do.
going to do it with the codexes though? How are they going to do it? Because if you've got a book, what are you going to do? You have a book and cards? Because where are you going to put the lore? Like, and obviously a codex would be a lot thicker than this if it was all cards, because you've obviously have all different one for the different things. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they do. I don't know how they're going to do it, or whether you just bring out data cards, and then a codex is an optional extra that is for people that just
But
want
it'll
a book
give you-
about the lore.
It'll give you army-wide rules, maybe. So like your
I think you could do
stratagem.
everything rules-wise on
In
data
there,
cards.
yeah.
And then you have a book that isn't a codex.
It's lore.
It's just lore,
Yeah.
painting tips, collecting tips. It's just
a couple of
big,
scenarios.
yeah,
A couple of battle scenarios. A couple of
optional extras, campaign rules,
like city
something.
fight and what was this crap I got up here? Look, the Red War and all that stuff. You know, like
Yes.
the special Imperius Nihilus and all that stuff. Like
I love that. I think that'd be great.
Stuff,
Just
yeah.
the book is an optional extra that just throws in a whole load of optional rules, optional scenarios.
but not changing your army.
No,
Keep
it
your
doesn't
army
change
the
the
same.
data
Yeah.
cards. It's just a load of extra fluff and that's just packed with artwork, lore.
Maybe a couple of special characters. for,
Yeah,
like,
heavy metal
yeah.
showcase
Yeah.
to inspire you. It's just a big book of like, because that's what
They
Codex
could,
used to
put
do
in the
really
codex. They
well.
could put a
wouldn't
unit of Mad Boys, or you know,
Yeah.
as an optional, you can have
Definitely.
know something. Yeah,
just
I don't know,
fun,
something a bit- yeah.
optional stuff. And I think you'd be surprised, Games Workshop, how many people would buy that. If I don't think you have to make every purchase compulsory.
Yeah.
I didn't have to force people to buy it. If you just make it really, really good, we'll buy it.
Well, yeah, that's it, isn't it? You
You've
don't have
got
to
enough
make the
of
rules.
us die-hard
You don't-
collectors that just
you don't
want
have to make
every
the
book
rules
in
for the new models overpowered. If they're
No.
good models, people just buy them.
Yes.
You don't have to make the rules so overpowered that everyone rushes out to
No,
buy
if
them.
it's a gorgeous miniature, you're going
They'll
to
just
want
buy
to
it anyway,
And
just
if it's
for- just
gorgeous,
as a collector.
even if the rules are shit, you
Yeah.
want to put it on the table
Yeah,
just because
exactly.
you want to be able to show it
Yeah.
off. I mean, that's not true for everyone, but it's true for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
The
so
diehard hobbyists.
yeah, I don't know. Just well, let us know, people, in the comment section. Yeah, let us know. Yeah, this has been fun. Hopefully, we're going to do a bit more of this, haven't we? On the channel. I think you might see more content from just two of us or just one of us.
Yeah.
You and Sid have been talking quite a bit about bringing out some more content.
Do some old boy stuff on there.
So yeah, we're really sort of. I think for a lot of us, we're putting a lot more focus into this channel than we are on our own channels, isn't we?
Yeah.
Well, I know me and you are anyway.
I've
Fuck all on ours. But as we said at the beginning of this video, there is a battle report currently up, or if it's not up yet, it'll be up very soon.
Yeah.
And if it is up, there'll be links appearing. There'll be links in the description. Go and check out that battle report.
Yes.
On Essex channel.
Yeah. The return.
You'll be able to find it on this channel in the battle report playlist, so we can see our big battle if you haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
Our most successful video to date.
Mm-hmm.
Our big.
How epic was that?
It was amazing, mate.
That was great fun, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Hopefully we're going to do it again this year at some point.
We're going to do it again. That's for bloody sure. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, mate, thanks for having me round. It's been a pleasure.
It's been great having you.
It's been bloody
Thank you very
awesome.
much.
Thank
Cheers,
you,
buddy.
And go and watch that game.
Yes.
Go and watch that game.
Now.
I keep not looking at you because I'm not looking in the lens properly. But go and watch that game.
I never look in the lens. I'm
go
not
and check it out.
there normally.
But yeah, yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
This is 6 Plus Stevo signing out.
Catch you on the next one, guys.